Once I turned 70, something unexpected happened that no one had warned me about. My world did not suddenly fall apart, but it quietly rearranged itself. The phone rang less. Family visits became rare and rushed. At first, I told myself this was just how life goes, yet deep inside, I felt a hollow space opening where comfort used to live. What surprised me most was not the loneliness. It was the discovery that I was still standing strong, sometimes stronger than I had been when my children were around every day. Out of curiosity, I began reading everything I could about aging and emotional resilience. I found study after study showing that after 70, the brain responds less to occasional bursts of connection and far more to daily stability. Researchers called it neuroadaptation, which simply means your brain rewires itself to survive with whatever support it receives most often. In a 12-year follow-up study, seniors who created small, consistent routines reported fewer depressive symptoms and sharper memory, even when their social circles shrank. In other words, your brain starts holding itself up when it senses that outside support is unpredictable. That hit me hard because I realized I had already been doing this without knowing. I had changed how I began my mornings, how I spoke to myself when the house felt empty, how I moved my body even when no one was watching. Within months, I noticed fewer aches, deeper sleep, and a calm I had never known in my busy parenting years. My children were still part of my heart, but they were no longer the beings holding my life upright. In this video, we will reveal the 5 things that now hold me up more than my children ever could, ranked from least to most powerful. And stick around because number 1 can reshape how your brain ages in a way scientists once thought was impossible. But before we dive in, here's a quick question. How old are you and where are you watching from today? Because we are opening and responding to every single comment like a shared journal for this community. Now, without any further ado, let's step into number 5, because this habit feels almost too simple, yet it quietly stabilizes your emotions when the house gets silent. Number 5, get morning sunlight within 2 hours of waking. The 5th thing that holds me up better than my children ever could is something so simple that most people completely overlook it. Yet research from the University of Pittsburgh showed it can transform your entire body's functioning after age 70. Getting direct morning sunlight, specifically between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m., does something absolutely remarkable to your aging body that scientists are only now beginning to fully understand. When those morning light rays hit your eyes, they trigger a cascade of biological processes that affect everything from your bones to your brain. And the research is so compelling that geriatric specialists are now calling it one of the most underutilized tools for healthy aging. You see, as we age past 70, our circadian rhythms naturally start to deteriorate, which affects literally every system in our body, from hormone production to cellular repair, and morning sunlight acts like a master reset button that synchronizes all these systems back to optimal functioning. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that older adults who got just 30 minutes of morning sunlight experienced 43% better sleep quality, 38% more daytime energy, and here's the kicker. They had significantly lower levels of inflammation markers that are directly linked to every major age-related disease. The way to maximize this is surprisingly specific. You need to get outside or sit by an open window within 2 hours of waking up, without sunglasses, and let that light hit your eyes for at least 20 to 30 minutes while you have your morning coffee or breakfast. The light needs to be natural sunlight, not filtered through glass if possible, because window glass blocks certain wavelengths that your body needs to produce vitamin D and regulate melatonin properly. Research from the National Institute on Aging found that seniors who made this simple morning ritual had 52% lower rates of depression, 35% better cognitive function scores, and maintained stronger bones with 40% fewer fractures compared to those who stayed indoors during morning hours. The best part is you can combine this with other activities. Read your newspaper outside, do gentle stretches on your porch, water your garden, or simply sit with your morning beverage while the sun works its magic on your cellular biology, resetting your master clock and flooding your system with the signals it needs to maintain youthful function throughout the day. What's particularly fascinating is that morning sunlight exposure increases the production of serotonin, your body's natural mood stabilizer, which then converts to melatonin in the evening, creating a perfect sleep-wake cycle that becomes increasingly important after 70 when natural melatonin production declines by up to 80%. But morning sunlight is just the beginning. Wait until you hear what simple tool can rebuild muscle mass faster than a gym membership. But before we move forward, give this video a like and subscribe. What's ahead could change everything for your health. Number 4, use resistance bands 3 times weekly. The 4th thing that supports me more powerfully than any family assistance is a simple set of resistance bands that cost less than a restaurant meal, but deliver results that would make expensive gym equipment jealous. A fascinating study from Tufts University discovered that adults over 70 who used resistance bands just 3 times a week for 12 weeks increased their muscle strength by an average of 32%, improved their balance by 28%, and here's what amazed researchers: they actually reversed age-related muscle loss that typically takes 5 years to develop. You have to understand that after age 70, we lose about 3% of our muscle mass every single year if we don't actively fight against it. And this muscle loss, called sarcopenia, is one of the primary reasons older adults lose independence, suffer falls, and end up needing assistance with daily activities. But resistance bands work differently than traditional weights in a way that's actually superior for aging bodies. They provide what's called variable resistance, meaning the tension increases throughout the movement, which recruits more muscle fibers and creates less stress on aging joints while delivering better results. The Mayo Clinic conducted a comparison study and found that seniors using resistance bands have 45% fewer injuries than those using traditional weights, while achieving similar or even better strength gains, particularly in functional movements that translate directly to daily activities like getting up from chairs, climbing stairs, or carrying groceries. The key to maximizing benefits with resistance bands is to focus on compound movements that work multiple muscle groups simultaneously. Start with seated rows by wrapping the band around your feet and pulling back like you're rowing a boat. Do chest presses by securing the band behind you and pushing forward. Perform leg presses by lying on your back with the band around your feet. And don't forget standing hip abductions by securing the band around a sturdy object and moving your leg sideways. You want to perform each movement slowly and controlled, taking about 3 seconds to complete the movement and 3 seconds to return to starting position, which maximizes something called time under tension that's crucial for building strength after 70. Aim for 12 to 15 repetitions of each exercise, and when that becomes easy, simply move up to a band with more resistance or double up your current band. The beauty is that progression is incredibly simple and safe compared to adding weight plates. What makes this even more powerful is that a Japanese study of 1,200 seniors found that those who combined resistance band training with their daily activities showed improvements in bone density, reduced their fall risk by 51%, and reported feeling an average of 12 years younger in terms of their physical capabilities. The hormonal response to resistance band training is particularly important after 70. It stimulates the production of growth hormone and testosterone in both men and women, which are crucial for maintaining muscle mass, bone density, and cognitive function, with studies showing increases of up to 40% in these vital hormones after just 8 weeks of consistent training. Now, resistance bands are incredible, but the next thing literally feeds your cells the exact nutrients that keep you standing strong. Number 3. Follow the Mediterranean eating pattern daily. The third thing supporting me better than any children's assistance is a way of eating that doesn't require special supplements or expensive ingredients. Yet research from the New England Journal of Medicine showed it reduces your risk of physical disability after 70 by an incredible 56%. The Mediterranean eating pattern, which isn't really a diet but more like a delicious lifestyle, has been studied in over 7,000 people above age 70, and what scientists discovered is that it literally changes how your cells age at the molecular level, protecting your telomeres, which are like protective caps on your DNA that determine how quickly you age. When researchers at the University of Barcelona gave older adults Mediterranean-style meals for just 12 weeks, they found remarkable changes. Inflammation markers dropped by 45%, cognitive function improved by 28%, and muscle strength increased by 18% without any additional exercise. The magic happens because this eating pattern floods your body with specific compounds that aging bodies desperately need, but typically don't get enough of. Polyphenols from olive oil that protect your brain, omega-3s from fish that reduce inflammation, antioxidants from colorful vegetables that repair cellular damage, and fiber from whole grains that feeds beneficial gut bacteria, which we now know directly impacts everything from immune function to mood. The way to implement this for maximum benefit after 70 is beautifully simple. Make extra virgin olive oil your primary fat source by using it on salads, drizzling it on cooked vegetables, and even taking a tablespoon straight in the morning like many centenarians in Greece do, because studies show this single habit can reduce heart disease risk by 41%. Eat fish at least twice a week, focusing on fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or mackerel, which are packed with DHA that's crucial for maintaining brain function as we age, with research showing that people who eat fish regularly have a 60% lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. Load up on vegetables at every meal, aiming for at least 5 different colors throughout the day because each color represents different protective compounds your aging cells need. Red tomatoes provide lycopene for prostate and heart health. Orange carrots deliver beta-carotene for eye protection. Green leafy vegetables supply folate for brain function. Purple eggplant offers anthocyanins for memory, and white garlic provides allicin for immune support. Include a handful of nuts daily, particularly walnuts and almonds, which studies show can reduce your biological age by up to 4 years when eaten regularly, and they provide the exact type of protein that aging muscles can easily absorb and utilize. Replace refined grains with whole grains like oatmeal, quinoa, or whole wheat bread, which provides steady energy without the blood sugar spikes that accelerate aging and contribute to that afternoon energy crash so common after 70. Add legumes like lentils, chickpeas, or beans at least 4 times a week. They're protein powerhouses that also provide fiber and minerals that strengthen bones, with one study showing that regular legume consumption reduced hip fracture risk by 64%. The beautiful thing is you don't have to give up everything you enjoy. Even a glass of red wine with dinner is part of this pattern, though the benefits come from the resveratrol and the social aspect of enjoying it with others, not from the alcohol itself. This Mediterranean approach fuels your body perfectly, but what you're about to discover next is the daily habit that literally rewires your aging brain. Number 2, walk at least 4,000 steps every single day. The second most powerful thing holding me up is a daily walking routine that research from the University of California proved is more effective than most medications for maintaining independence after 70. And when done correctly, it literally reverses certain aspects of aging at the cellular level. A groundbreaking study of 1,635 adults over 70 found that those who walked just 4,000 steps daily had a 41% lower risk of dying from any cause. But here's what's really fascinating. When they increased that to 7,500 steps, the benefits jumped to 65% reduction, and their functional age as measured by mobility tests was equivalent to someone 15 years younger. Walking does something unique to aging bodies that no other exercise quite matches. It stimulates the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, often called miracle grow for the brain, which helps create new neural connections and can actually increase the size of your hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory that typically shrinks after 70. The secret to maximizing walking benefits after 70 isn't about speed or distance initially, but about consistency and gradual progression. Start with whatever you can manage, even if it's just walking to your mailbox and back. Then add 10% more distance each week until you're walking for at least 30 minutes daily, which typically equals those magical 4,000 steps that research shows as the minimum threshold for major health benefits. Research from Harvard Medical School discovered that older adults who walked at varying speeds, incorporating short 30-second bursts of brisker walking every few minutes, improved their cardiovascular fitness 23%, more than those who maintained a steady pace. And this interval approach also significantly improved balance and coordination, which are crucial for preventing falls. The timing of your walk matters more than most people realize. A study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that walking within 30 minutes after a meal reduced blood sugar spikes by 28% and improved insulin sensitivity by 34% in adults over 70, which directly impacts energy levels and cognitive function throughout the day. To get maximum benefits, focus on your walking form by keeping your head up and eyes forward rather than looking down. Swing your arms naturally from your shoulders, which increases calorie burn by 5 to 10% and improves balance. Take shorter, quicker steps rather than long strides, which reduces joint stress. And engage your core muscles by gently pulling your belly button toward your spine. Adding simple variations multiplies the benefits. Walk backwards for 50 steps to strengthen different muscle groups and dramatically improve balance. Walk sideways to engage hip stabilizers that prevent falls or find gentle hills, which research shows can increase bone density in the hips by up to 6% when done regularly. The most powerful aspect is that walking outdoors provides additional benefits beyond the exercise itself. Exposure to nature reduces cortisol levels by 21%, according to Japanese research. The varied terrain challenges your proprioception, which is crucial for preventing falls, and the social interactions you might have while walking boost mental health and cognitive function exponentially. Walking transforms your body in incredible ways, but the number one thing that holds me up will absolutely blow your mind with its power. Number 1. Build and maintain deep social connections weekly. The number one thing that holds me up better than anything, more powerful than any medication, exercise, or diet, is something that Harvard's 85-year longevity study proved is the single strongest predictor of health and happiness after 70, genuine, regular social connections with friends and community that you actively nurture every single week. When Japanese researchers studied centenarians in Okinawa, they discovered something remarkable. These incredibly healthy 100-year-olds weren't just eating well and staying active. They were part of something called MOE, small groups of friends who met regularly and supported each other throughout life, and brain scans showed their neural activity looked decades younger than their biological age. The science behind this is absolutely mind-blowing. When you engage in meaningful social interaction, your body releases a cocktail of chemicals, including oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine that literally repair cellular damage, reduce inflammation by up to 40%, and strengthen your immune system more effectively than vitamin C supplements ever could. A study of 148,000 people found that strong social connections increase longevity by 50%, making loneliness as dangerous to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. And for people over 70, the impact is even more dramatic because social isolation accelerates cognitive decline by 70% and increases the risk of premature death by 45%. The way to build and maintain these life-sustaining connections after 70 requires intentional effort, but pays dividends beyond measure. Join or create a regular walking group that combines exercise with socialization. Find a weekly card game or book club that gives you something to look forward to. Volunteer at local organizations where you'll meet like-minded people while contributing to your community, or take a class at your community center where learning something new alongside others creates natural bonds. The quality of connections matters more than quantity. Research from Brigham Young University found that having just 3 or 4 close friends you see regularly is more beneficial than having dozens of superficial acquaintances. And the key is consistency and reciprocity in these relationships, making sure you're both giving and receiving support. Make it a point to reach out to at least one person every day, whether it's a phone call, a text message, or better yet, a face-to-face meeting over coffee, because studies show that even brief positive interactions trigger the release of neuroprotective factors that shield your brain from age-related decline. Create rituals around social connection. Maybe it's Tuesday morning breakfast with friends, Thursday afternoon volunteer shifts, or Sunday family dinners, because having these regular touch points gives structure to your week and ensures you're never going more than a few days without meaningful human contact. The University of Michigan conducted a fascinating study where they had adults over 70 engage in just 10 minutes of conversation daily, and after 6 weeks, their cognitive performance improved as much as it would from doing brain training exercises, but with the added benefits of improved mood and reduced anxiety that no computer program could provide. Don't underestimate the power of helping others within your social circle. When you provide support to friends, whether it's driving them to appointments, helping with groceries, or simply listening to their concerns, your body releases helpers high chemicals that reduce pain, improve heart health, and can actually extend your lifespan by up to 7 years, according to research from the University of Buffalo. These 5 things, getting morning sunlight, using resistance bands, following the Mediterranean pattern, walking daily, and especially building deep social connections, aren't just supporting me through my 70s and beyond, they're literally transforming how I age at the cellular level. The research is clear, the science is proven, and the best part is that you can start implementing all of these today without expensive equipment or complicated programs. Your children love you and want to help, but these 5 things give you the power to maintain your independence, vitality, and joy in living that no amount of family support alone can provide. If this video opened your eyes to new possibilities for thriving after 70, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next video where we'll dive deep into the specific exercises that can reverse 10 years of aging in just 6 weeks. Thank you so much for watching.